You carry the most powerful object in the known universe, right inside your head. It's not a galaxy. It's not a supercomputer. It's your brain. Inside it, there are roughly 86 billion neurons. That's already an unimaginable number. But neurons don't just sit there. Each one can form thousands of connections with others. When you add those up, you get somewhere around 100 trillion synapses. Let that settle for a second. That's more connections than there are stars in the Milky Way. All of that, packed into something that fits between your ears. Imagine the night sky. Now imagine it filled with sparks. Not just shining, but firing, reaching, communicating. That's what your brain is doing right now. Even as you sit here, listening, wondering, it's like holding a living galaxy. But it doesn't just sit there looking beautiful. It solves problems. It makes memories. It dreams, decides, and imagines futures that haven't happened yet. And here's the wildest part. You didn't design it. You didn't build it. You were born with it. A silent, pulsing universe of thought, already running before you knew what a brain was. It learns languages before you know how to speak. It reacts to danger before you know what fear is. And even when you're asleep, it's still active, sorting, processing, protecting. We map space. We build machines to reach other planets. But this is right here, inside you. So how does something so massive, so intricate, and so alive run on barely enough energy to power a light bulb? That's what we'll look at next. Because somehow, this entire cosmos in your skull works with almost nothing. And that might be the most shocking part of all. All of that power, those trillions of connections, the endless thoughts, memories, and emotions, runs on just 20 watts. That's less than the energy it takes to keep a light bulb glowing. Your brain is the most efficient supercomputer we've ever encountered. And nothing we've built, not even the best machines in the world, comes close. A high-end computer with a fraction of your brain's processing ability might burn through hundreds of watts and still can't write poetry, feel heartbreak, or recognize a childhood friend's voice. But you can, and you do it using the same amount of power it takes to charge your phone. It doesn't overheat. It doesn't shut down to update. It just works. Quietly. Endlessly. Even when you're not thinking about it. Right now, your brain is handling your heartbeat, your breathing, your posture. It's listening to my voice, processing each word, comparing it to everything you've ever heard before. And it's doing all that while still saving room for you to wonder, how is this even possible? That question still stumps us. We understand some of mechanics. Neurons fire using tiny bursts of electricity and chemicals. But we don't fully know how your brain uses so little energy to do so much. It doesn't just store data. It understands. It doesn't just react. It feels. It doesn't just observe. It imagines. And all of it, every idea, every flash of inspiration, every emotion, is powered by the brain sipping electricity like a candle, not guzzling it like a machine. But efficiency is just one side of the story. What really sets your brain apart is that it never stays the same. Because unlike any computer, any robot, or anything we've ever created, your brain rewires itself. While it's working, while you're living, right now, it's literally changing. And the next time you feel something deeply, or learn something new, you're going to feel it happening. Because your brain is remaking itself as you experience the world. Your brain is not a machine. Machines follow instructions. They do what they're programmed to do. Nothing more. But your brain, it rebuilds itself while it's running. This isn't just poetic. It's biological fact. It's called neuroplasticity. The brain's ability to physically change based on what you do, what you feel, and what you experience. Every time you practice a skill, your brain strengthens the pathways that make it easier. When you learn a new word, or face a fear, or even just remember a smell from childhood, you're literally reshaping your brain. Neurons are constantly reaching out to form new connections, and sometimes letting go of old ones, like a forest trail being carved deeper with every step, or fading when no one walks it anymore. Even a single moment of emotion can leave a lasting mark. Grief, love, embarrassment, inspiration, they all shape your brain structure. And the most incredible part? This doesn't stop. You are not the same person you were a year ago. or a week ago, because the experiences you've lived through have rewired you, quietly and visibly, day by day. Even right now, as you listen to this, your brain is changing, forming new circuits, strengthening others, learning how to understand the very idea of change itself. And unlike a machine, you don't need to shut down to update. You update in real time. The implications of this are massive. It means that healing is possible. Growth is possible. It means you're never truly stuck. But there's another layer, something even more mysterious. Because if your brain is constantly changing based on what it takes in, what happens when it starts predicting things before they even happen? How does it anticipate the future before you're even aware of it? That's where we're headed next. Your brain isn't just reacting to the world. It's constantly predicting it. Right now, as you sit and listen, your brain is making assumptions about what words are coming next, what sounds to expect, even how this sentence might end. And most of the time, it gets it right. So right, in fact, that you don't even notice it's happening. When you catch a ball before it hits the ground, when you finish someone's sentence before they do, when you flinch just before something startles you, that's your brain predicting reality before your conscious mind catches up. It's not waiting for the world to act. It's trying to stay one step ahead. It does this through something called predictive processing. Your brain builds a model of the world based on experience. Then it compares what's happening now to what it expects. If things match, you feel stable, safe, certain. If they don't, your brain scrambles to adjust, sometimes in a fraction of a second. This is why time can feel slower in moments of danger. Your brain is flooding itself with information, updating the model in real time, trying to stay alive, trying to make sense of chaos. But here's the strange part. The now you think you're experiencing already happened. It takes your brain a tiny fraction of a second to process sight, sound, and sensation. So what you perceive as the present is already the past. You live slightly behind reality, just enough for your brain to fill in the gaps. In a way, it's creating your experience of the world while you're still living it. So how much of your life is prediction, and how much is truth? What you see, what you feel, what you remember, it's all filtered through this silent machine inside your skull, predicting, correcting, guessing, faster than you can think. And yet, for all of this brilliance, there's one question we still can't answer. Because we know how the brain fires, we know how it connects, but we don't know how it becomes you. We've mapped the brain. We've scanned it, sliced it, studied its chemistry, tracked its electrical pulses. We can see which regions light up when you speak, when you dream, when you fall in love or fall apart. But for all of that, we still don't know how it works. Not really. We don't know how a network of cells becomes a memory, or a thought, or a feeling. We don't know how matter, flesh, and electricity gives rise to something as unmeasurable as consciousness. Where does you come from? Where in the brain is the part that wonders who you are, or questions why you're here? You can destroy half the brain and still have a person. You can lose speech, memory, even emotion, and something still remains. Something aware, something watching. We call it the hard problem of consciousness. And it's not just unsolved. It might be unsolvable. Is awareness just the sum of signals and circuits? Or is it something more? Something science can't hold in a microscope? That's the mystery. You are the most studied object in the known universe, and still the one thing we understand least. Your brain holds galaxies of information. It predicts the future. It rewires itself. It powers every heartbeat, every dream, every choice you've ever made. And yet, it hides the most profound question we've ever asked. What makes you you? No one has the answer. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the very thing that makes the brain so extraordinary isn't just what it can do. Maybe it's that for all its brilliance, it still holds mystery. And somehow, that mystery lives inside you.